What make you choose Vietnam over China?
I'm ethnic Chinese, meaning to say, all right, my grandparents, my roots came from China.
Yeah.
But my parents were born in Singapore. I was born in Singapore. I grew up in Singapore, at least during the formative years. And then since my 20s, I've been traveling around the world.
Mm.
I think ethnically Chinese is different from being Chinese.
That's true. That's very true. That's true.
But culturally, I think, I still have, very strong Singapore roots
Yes,
with
yes,
my
yes.
Singlish, of course,
Definitely. Yeah. Yeah.
how things are being done in Singapore is quite different. But of course, in our Singapore school system, we learn, at least for us Chinese, we learn Mandarin. So I
Mm.
suppose that's something that's easier for Singaporeans when they go to China. But then do not mistake that our Chinese is anywhere near what the Chinese themselves are speaking. We actually speak quite differently. And which is kind of funny because if you look at China and then Taiwan and then Singapore, all three countries, the Chinese there speak very differently. The accent, the word usage and all that stuff. I mean, pretty much like, Vietnam, right? The South, the North and the Central, they're completely different as well. A
Definitely.
big,
Yeah.
no, not completely different, but a big significant portion of the spoken language is different.
Yeah. This is hilarious. You say this. We just encounter somebody from Da Nang today, from Quang Nam today, and we absolutely had no idea what he said. I could imagine a similar situation.
Yeah. So again, it's the same thing, in China itself, right? If you go further up north, for me, I would probably not understand at least 50% of what they're saying. It's much easier for me to speak or to listen, to understand the southern Chinese, because I think that's where our roots came from, southern China, the Guangdong, the Canton area.
Yeah. That's definitely the case. So, what else? What other reason? Is there any other reason to choose Vietnam over China?
Okay, I think it's not so much as I chose Vietnam. Like I said, I wasn't even in Vietnam. Vietnam wasn't even on my radar of any country to go to. Right. I remember when I was living in New York, I had some Vietnamese friends and they're like, oh yeah, I should, you guys should go to Vietnam. And I'm like, no, it's just a hike, whatever, right? There were a lot of sanctions going on with Vietnam, and Vietnam hasn't even joined ASEAN at the time, I think, right?
Yeah.
But then so happened that, during my travel outside of the US, I met some friends and they're not even Vietnamese. I met some people. One of them is actually a Malaysian guy
Mm.
and he got posted to Vietnam to work. So he invited me to Vietnam.
Mm.